All right, I have been tinkering with the barn on and off this week amongst doing other things. I had to go get more concrete. Obviously everybody knows that well, most people probably know already that I started uploading those white factory videos. I got those back this week. A little disappointed in the views those things are getting, but I know why they're not getting the views they're getting, and because apparently back in the 80s the stock music that they used in those videos is copyrighted, and YouTube still recognizes it as copyrighted music. Therefore the videos get a copyright strike even though they're going on 40 years old now. So because of that, because they got copyright strikes on them, YouTube automatically shadows the video. They don't promote it. Therefore it gets fewer views no matter how many likes and how many comments and anything like that. It just, YouTube automatically just, we're not, which is stupid and I hate it, but that's the way YouTube is. And I notice, well, when I make a video where I intentionally put music in it, I understand that that's going to happen. It's stupid when you're uploading a video like that has music in it. You can't edit the audio, otherwise you're going to lose that's the way the video is supposed to be. You're going to lose it. So, is what it is. Sucks, but like they won't even recommend it. Like it won't go on a recommended page or nothing. It shadows it. Basically, my subscribers will, or if you look for it, you can find it, but they won't recommend it to people that aren't subscribers. So basically, the only people that are probably watching that video are subscribers right now. It's just stupid. I hate the way YouTube does that. It's YouTube and their communist overlord bastards are hard to deal with sometimes. But anyway, on to the barn. I got my concrete slabs laid out. Actually finished this up yesterday and kind of graded this bank out and got the dirt dug away from the side of the barn foundation there. Gonna have to cut this concrete off. It's almost like there used to be something extra poured there because this stuff is stuck on to that foundation. But Lord only knows. So most of it broke off. Actually, there was some poured on top right here, and then the stuff that's hanging on the side basically stops here. So I don't know. We will never know because don't have pictures of back then. But it looks a hell of a lot better graded off like that. And then hopefully this week, I got a 24-ton semi-load of numbers. He was either going to bring me number 53, which is 3/4 down to fines, or number 73, which is 1 inch down to fines, depending on what he could get at the crusher. He was going to bring me a load of limestone and dump it up there by the road, which we will use to make our ramp and whatnot inside here. And then whatever's left, we'll start making a driveway, which I'm probably going to have to bring the grading bucket over for the mini so we can dig a slot out. And then we'll take all the stone and concrete that we dug out of the barn and crush it up as best we can and lay that in for the base, and then put the limestone over top of it, which if I can start at the road and get down just past where that mailbox is, that's where it gets slimy and hard to climb out, because believe it or not, there is actually gravel in this. For the most part, you can see it. There's many moons worth of dirt mixed in with it by now, but basically right about here is where it starts to get hard to climb out. And you can tell you got gravel here, and basically here it stops and you're just climbing out on the grease. So if I got enough, which 24-ton of stone is going to go a fairly long way, but I got to get that ramp done and then fill in the 2 holes that we're going to create today. And then, like I say, if I can at least get down to like right here as a start of the driveway, we'll be moving in the right direction. And then all of this gravel that I dug out of here to put this, and they're dug out of here and then peeled off of here to taper it off, I just took and spread out right there as kind of a temporary base to drive on, rather than having to drive on this slick clay fill that I had hauled in, because that stuff's like the definition of snot. So this ought to, since there's gravel mixed in with it, hopefully this is better to drive on. I graded it off the best I could, but it was a little stick. The stuff right on top was a little sticky, and it ended up there. So have to finish it off with the cub when it finally dries out enough. But anyway, on to today's project. Get inside here. Get inside and get the heater turned on. The other thing I did was got my board or my plywood put back on to cover that hole back up for now, because it was supposed to snow this week, and it kind of did, but it kind of didn't. So, but the concrete's curing down nice. It's finally lightening up in color, and the mortar on the blocks is curing down. Still got to wire brush it, but. And then I still got to face this block off and blend it into the wall, but I wanted to make sure that that mortar was good and hard before I went hogging on it. So, but that's not the project for today. The project for today is to get our holes cut in. I finally got the barn jacked all the way up. Three inches on the nose. So, and I was worried this morning because I was sitting there eating breakfast. I was like, you know, the manure trough is really close to this post. I hope like hell we don't end up over top of it. Oh, fuck, but we might. Oh, that's gonna suck. God, I hope that. Basically comes over 16 inches from the edge of the trough. Oh, that's gonna suck. That's gonna make this complicated. I hope that's not like that all the way back past that post, because otherwise we're gonna have to jackhammer all that out, because the saw you ain't gonna be able to get the saw down in there. Oh, that's gonna suck, because I'm coming basically 16 inches off center of the post all the way around, which is gonna put me like right in here. So it's gonna anyhow. So yeah, I got to get this post out, get our hole cut in, get it dug out. We're gonna come down here and jack this up a little bit so I can move this post down out of the way, and then we're going to get our hole cut here and get it dug out. That way we can make both pours at one time and just be done with it, because they're going to probably have to set up for about 3-4 weeks before we can put our post on them. So anyhow, we're going to start here and do this one first and go from there. So I guess we have to start off with a little bit of logging. ears of cattle and whatnot rubbing on it, I wouldn't get them. Although apparently I caught at least one because I saw a spark for a second. But definitely gonna save that beam for something. Don't know what, but we ain't gonna throw it away, that's for damn sure. Alright, so to get my line, I know last time I was cutting concrete, I had several guys suggest laying out string and painting over the top of it. I kind of modified that a little bit because since I'm making a shape, I want it to be, you know, rigid. So I just made a stencil so that we can just paint the edge of the stencil. I had some orange marking paint, but apparently that stuff has a lower freezing point than regular automotive paint because it was froze. And both cans were sitting right next to each other on the shelf, so I don't know why one would freeze and one wouldn't, but this out of the way so it doesn't get wet while we're cutting. I basically had to make it as square as I could to the post because I'm assuming the post was square to the beam. Which, looking by the paint marks, it was pretty damn close. I tried measuring off the wall, that didn't work. I can't measure off of that wall because even if I could get to it, it's stone, so it's all... I did the best I could. So, get my hoses drug out and cut that hole. The only thing I'm worried about, and I think we're far enough away it shouldn't be a problem, but I hope slitting this here doesn't make a weak spot and this floor bust again. But if I end up with a barn on top of me, you guys will obviously be the first to know. Hopefully we don't start digging and find some concrete right here. It'd be neat if we didn't. It feels like there's something. Oh, there's rocks. They must have made a rock. Oh, and there's mortar. So they must have made a rock base for that post to sit on. So that could be interesting getting out of there, although luckily the mortar's crumbling, so they should come right apart. If nothing else, bring the jackhammer down and rattle them apart. But anyhow, I guess we start digging. Okay, I think I got all the rocks from the pillar out of there. I think. I couldn't feel any more. There was quite a few in there. But in order to get, because what the plan is pour an 8-inch thick pad this big, and then it's gonna be down far enough so that when you pour the new floor, the top of the pad will have the full 4 inches of concrete of the floor poured over it, and that'll cover the bolts holding the beam in and the flange and everything. So it'll just be concrete around the post. That way, if for some reason when you're moving equipment around in here you ever bump it, you're hitting the floor, you're not hitting the post, so you're not going to hurt it. So for now it'll just be a square pad 8 inches thick, and then I'll put limestone in the hole to cover it up, and then when we get ready to take the rest of obviously when we take the rest of the floor out and pour everything right, then it'll finally get covered up with concrete. But for now, this will just be stone. But this dirt is so damn hard from just years of this floor sitting on it. I'm going to have to probably, I would use my pickaxe, but the handle's still broke, and I don't think swinging a pickaxe in a hole this size is going to be fun anyway. So I'm just going to get the jackhammer with the chisel bit on it and just jackhammer it out to make shoveling easier. Otherwise, we're going to be here for a month of Sundays. This is some nice, nasty clay, I tell you what. All right, there's one hole done. I think by the time I got dug down to hard pack and got all the stone out of there, basically just hand digging, I think I ended up having to pull out another 9 inches of dirt that I had to hammer out with the jackhammer, and it took me an hour and a half to get that 9 inches of dirt out of there to get that hole down where it needs to be. Good old Michigan clay. So anyhow, next step is going to be to come over here and do this hole, which is going to involve moving. Huh, it's already loose. Anyway, we got to move this post that way, which I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's good and froze up. But I'd like to get it sitting at least on one of those plates of steel, although this, I think this pad's a lot thicker than that was over there. So, but anyway, gotta shuffle some stuff around to make some room, and then we'll move this post over, and then I'm gonna run a screw, just poke it in the center of this mortise joint so that we can run a string down and know where center is gonna be, and make a mark and use that to center. And then we'll just probably end up squaring this one off of that one, and hopefully that one's square. I guess we'll find out. Looking at it off the beam, it might be crooked, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Okay, this side should pick a lot easier because you're not lifting up the loft, which it's clearly moving easier because picking up that side is enough to loosen up this post, which tells you that this barn wants to be straight. That picks up a lot easier. I do think I'm going to forego the plate and just set it back down on the post like it was, though. Stay. Gotta make sure I get it over far enough. That should be plenty. The fun part is going to be getting it. Stay right there. It's really scary watching this barn move that much. All right, this hole is all squared off. I laid it out to that one, and obviously the center on the joint. Isn't gravity neat? The only thing that might make this a little interesting is hopefully, and I guess it won't make that big of a deal. Well, you just won't make it part of the hole. But hopefully cutting this out won't loosen this piece from here, which it shouldn't, because it'd still be tied in here. It's just you have to be careful getting the slab out so we don't break this off of this or that, if we want that to stay, at least for the time being. And this one's going to be a little harder because, you know, there might be a joint right here that it might break off of, but that one came out in 4 pieces. This one's one piece, because at least near as I can tell. I can't tell if this and this are separate pours or if they just did a shittier job of finishing this side of it. But either way, this one's not going to come out in as many pieces, which is going to make it a little harder. We got a hole. Managed to wrestle that slab out of there in pretty much one piece. I just took a jackhammer and busted the corner off of it so I could get under it with a crowbar. And between a crowbar and a spade, I worked it up out of the hole and drug it to there. It's plenty heavy, but the stone piling that they made to set the wood post on is still in this hole like it was in that hole. This one's in a lot better shape. It's not crumbling. It's kind of neat. It'd be neat if I could get it out of it. Not that you could do anything with it. It'd be kind of neat if I could get it out of there in one piece. But if there's as many rocks in that one as there was in the other one, I don't think you'd pull it out of that hole in one piece. All right, there's the second hole done. I'm having back spasms. Being down in that hole, digging all hunched over is, oh, that hurts. But it's done, thank God. So I'm gonna clean my mess up and I got going on here. And we're gonna go over to Dad's and cut some rebar and make some cages to put down in there. So we'll catch you over at the shop. All right, there's those. My initial intent was I was gonna make basically 2 layers so that they'd be stacked, but I got them put together and it's like, that's gonna be a lot of rebar for an 8-inch thick pad. I don't think it needs any more. And the closer you put it together, the more prone it is gonna be to cracking, because it's just the way everything works out. So, but the legs are on there so that I can drive it into the ground and make sure it's level. That way we don't got to worry about trying to float it to the center or anything. It'll just be there. So yeah, one for each hole. So I guess tomorrow we pour concrete, hopefully. So with that, I guess that's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.